So in the final module of this lecture, I want to develop further a sort of quick point that Perry and the other authors of this paper make. So on page 8, they tell us that most professions highly value persons who can carry the analysis of a position or an argument to a deeper level, who can identify and untangle assumptions, and who can communicate effectively about complicated matters. And they don't provide much more than that gesture towards this idea that philosophy involves the development of skills that transfer into real life, that make for a better professional life, and I would argue a better private life. So I'm going to elaborate on that just a little bit in this final module. So here is a graph. It's from Physics Buzz, so it's not a philosopher's graph. Physics Buzz at Physics Central, and it's best GRE scores by major. And GRE is the graduate record examination. It's a general examination that people who want to go to graduate school usually take. So if we look here at this graph, it says that the intended graduate major, where you do the best on average in verbal reasoning, is in fact philosophy. So this doesn't seem that surprising. Philosophers traffic in arguments. Philosophers are constantly analyzing, refining, trying to state explicitly, clearly, and succinctly their ideas. So it's not too surprising that they do very well, better than everyone else, including physicists, political scientists, even English majors, in verbal reasoning. Next one, also not too surprising, analytical writing ability. So the ability to write in ways that involve analysis. Again, philosophers, the number one slot, better than anthropology, archaeology, history, psychology, physics, astronomy, computer science, mechanical engineering, and so on. Right? And again, this isn't that surprising. Philosophers read a lot of analytical writing, and they try to produce a lot of analytical writing. And the sorts of skills that go into being a good philosopher are conducive to being a good analytical writer. So again, not that surprising. This next one, though, is a bit surprising. Quantitative reasoning. So the ability to traffic facilely in numbers, to add, subtract, multiply, basically do all sorts of mathematics. And here, philosophers aren't number one, right? But they are right here on this list, right? And it's important to note the other intended graduate majors on this list. Every one of the intended graduate majors on this list involves an undergraduate degree where you have extensive, explicit training in mathematics. Philosophy is the only major on this list that doesn't have extensive, explicit training in mathematics as part of your undergraduate degree. So it's kind of remarkable that the quantitative reasoning that philosophy majors demonstrate turns out to be so good, given that they don't have the explicit instruction that every single other discipline on this chart has. It's also interesting and important to note, philosophy is the only liberal arts major on this chart. So philosophy facilitates good quantitative reasoning, good analytic writing ability, good reading for comprehension, good verbal reasoning skills. I'll finish now with this one last chart. This is average LSAT scores, and we're not looking at the full 29 majors that are listed in this table. I abbreviated the table, right? But it's important to note that it's for 3 different time periods: 1991, 92, 94, 95, and 2003 and 2004. Now here, philosophy, again, isn't number one. Math and physics majors do the best on the LSAT. However, philosophy and religion majors, they are consistently number 2. They are the group of undergraduate majors that consistently has the second highest average score on the LSAT, which is the exam that you take if you want to get into law school. So these are all tests. You might think, well, it doesn't translate necessarily into real life. But the idea is you do well on these tests because you have these skills, the ability to read for comprehension, the ability to write where you're explicit, you're clear, you're succinct, you're able to convey technical ideas in an understandable fashion. All of these skills are skills that transfer into the real world, that employers really do want, that graduate schools really do want, that even, I would argue, make for a better private life. So the ability to communicate clearly, succinctly, explicitly with your roommates, with your girlfriend or boyfriend, with your parents, with people you disagree with, right? All of these skills are skills that help make your life better, and philosophy helps you to develop all of these skills.